Hey folks, I'm Roland Martin. This is Welcome to Be Woke Vote. I'm the host of Roland Martin Unfiltered. Glad to have you with us. By 2043, America will be a nation majority people of color, and of those minority groups, Latinos will be the largest group. But the issue is they'll have demographic numbers, but will they maximize their voting power? Well, that's the concern of my next guest. She has been always focused on that issue and others as well. So welcome, Salah Hanel. What's happening?
Thanks, Roland.
So you and I have had a number of conversations about this, and one of the things that we've talked about is that numbers are one thing,
right,
but how you take advantage of that is another. In Texas, 2.1 million Latinos eligible to vote, but not registered. That means they are sitting on power, but not using it.
Right. I think there's a two-part problem to this. The first being that I don't feel that they're not voting because they don't want to or because they don't care. I think they're voting because they think they don't. They're not voting because they think they don't matter. When you get naturalized in this country and you become a citizen and you're eligible to vote, I experienced this with my mom. The first time I took her to vote was when she voted for Obama, for President Obama.
2008, 2012. The first time you ran. Okay, got it. Second time you ran. Okay.
Yeah. And she walked around with a sense of pride that I'd never seen in her, that I really loved. And I said, Mom, why was this the first time you cared to vote? And I kind of felt guilty because I didn't really impassion her to do so before. But I think that because a lot of Latino people in the country, they have this right, but they don't feel like they belong. And that to me is the bigger issue. So I think everything that's going on right now, I think we have to look at this in a different way. We have to stop being angry and stop and start recognizing that we do have this power and stepping into it. So the story with my mom that I was telling you, I think what I'm trying to get to is we have to try and get to young people and make them matter, especially Latinos, because like you said, we're the fastest growing demographic in the country. I myself talk to people all the time. They're like, the kids in my family that are now eligible to vote, they're like, yeah, but it's just such a big task. It's so overwhelming. And I'm like, yeah, we're not changing the world in one day. We're just trying to make a small difference, and you do matter. Your vote does matter.
Well, and one of the things that I have consistently talked about in all of these different interviews, in speeches I've given across the country, is that we also have to connect the dots,
right,
to get folks to understand that you want this and desire this, but do understand it happens.
There's an action that needs to take place, right? And so that's the problem with young people. That's the problem with millennials. I think that we're in a society right now where we and myself included, we see issues, we see the problem, and we complain about it, but we stay in that place. And I think that we're entering a different era, and I think that these things are all happening for a reason. I think that they're so glaringly obvious and they're so devastating for a reason, because we should all wake up, because our collective American dream is at stake. It's not just Latinos, it's the fabric of this country that we grew to love, and what we believe this country is and what other countries look to us for.
Would you also say that one of the issues is that what you're dealing with is, so let's just compare two different groups. For Black Americans,
Right.
because of slavery, because of the complete destroying of a past, there really is no direct connection to various African countries.
Right.
But the reality is for Latinos, and even if you use that phrase, first of all, I'm from Texas. So in Texas, Hispanics is used. Other parts of the country, they say, no, call me Latino. Other folks call me Chicano. And so you also sort of have that going on. There's a connection with country as well.
Right.
And so if you're from Mexico, if you're from Colombia, if you're from any other particular country, it's, yeah, I'm here, but I'm also from there. As opposed to, no, this is my country. I'm involved in everything here. I think that's also something that's also at play.
It is at play, and it's unfortunate because it happens even when we're not talking about politics. I think that Latinos, the word, it's very divided, because we all have this allegiance to this other place that we came from. But I believe that that's not helping us. That's not unifying the country. We need to come together and understand that this is where you're raising your kids. This is where you're paying taxes. This is where you're living. This is your country. This is where it matters.
So as opposed to saying I'm Colombian,
right? I'd had this conversation last night. I'm American Colombian. I love Colombia. I was born there, but this is where my family is. This is where my memories of my childhood. This is the country that I love, that I call home. So this is the place that I have my allegiance to. This is who I care for, the people that I care for, my family that one day hopefully I will raise will live here. And I honestly, Roland, I think that there's a bigger thing happening here. I think that there's an awakening of a more conscious society, and I think that's why we have Donald Trump here and his all of it. That's why it's all here, because I think that we're being awakened to a bigger thing, and it's to just have more empathy, to care more. And millennials they're the ones that we need to, in all capacities, reach and have them understand that that they matter and that they should care about the future of the country and how and in the direction that it's moving, because right now we have a very racially divided country. Like you said, Latinos are the fastest growing demographic, and they don't think that they matter, and that to me is a sad part. And so everything that's going on from the NFL players kneeling and 3,000 people, displaced Puerto Ricans coming to the tri-state area, I think all of these things are this is probably the most important election that we've had in a long time, and I get so impassioned by it because there are so many things that have happened that if we don't see them for what they are, this is just going to continue to get out of control. And
2011, the MLK Memorial was unveiled on the Mall in Washington, and I was asked to participate in a series of conversations around the country called the Table of Brotherhood. And that was a part of one of Dr. King's speeches. And I remember we were in Las Vegas, and we had a different group of people. We had folks who were Native American, who were Asian, who were Latino, who were African American, who were white, different folks who were on this panel. And we began to talk about the May Day protest and these massive numbers of Latinos all across the country, in Los Angeles, in Chicago, in Houston, these massive marches. So we were talking about that, and one of the things that I said to one of the Latino entrepreneurs, I said, here's the issue. You had these massive marches. I said, but you did not have an action plan after the march. And everybody kept talking about, the great thing about this is we don't have one leader, and it was all these DJs who were sitting here hyping it up. And I said, and I told the guy, I said, the mistake you made is that you did not take the power of the feet of the people who were marching, and then translate that into the corridors of power. And he didn't want to have to concede it. And he said, I think you're right. He said, we had these huge marches, but then once it was over, now how do you move the people to actually make real what they were marching about? And I think that's where I think leadership comes in. To actually begin
Power's not given, it's taken. So we have to, like, things like this, and people taken being held accountable. Like me sitting here and having this conversation with you is great, and having conversations at my dinner table and calling my friend and saying, did you just hear what just happened, or did you hear what this guy said? It just doesn't matter. They don't matter if we don't individually go out there and hold ourselves accountable. I myself have. Yes, I've done it on Instagram, and I've tried to be very vocal on it on my social media. But if I don't actually say, hey, I'm gonna commit to registering 10 people to vote,
right.
And that's the thing I think is we get so hung up on the big picture, and this, the big picture matters, but it only matters when we all do small things.
Right.
That's how it happens. That is the action plan. It's not, hey, let's just post on Twitter and post on Instagram, because yes, social media is huge, we know it, but like you said, we have to actually get out there and walk the walk.
But see, but the thing, what you just said though is, and which I believe is the one thing people are absolutely afraid of, it's accountability.
Yeah.
Because see, I can easily post it.
Yeah.
But when you say, I am going to register 10 people, that means that I am going to have to get up. And even if I'm not a registrar, I'm going to have to take folks there.
Or go online. It's just
absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
But that means I'm going to actually say and ask the question: are you registered? If you're not, okay, we're going to register you right now. Okay, what do you mean right now? I'm real busy right now. No, we're going to do this right now.
I just did it with my best friend last night. Yeah, she was at my house and she said, I saw you posted. I said, yeah, are you registered? She's like, no, I just moved. But like I said, deadline is October 22nd. You have no time, you have to. She's like, oh wow. She went home. She's like, I just registered. So it's a matter. I think that people live.
See, you let off the hook. We got together.
Yeah, we were together.
See, I would have been like, no, you're doing it right now.
Oh,
because what happens is it's sort of like when I'm raising money for charities, folks will say, okay, so there are envelopes that are on the table, and okay, pick the envelope up, and okay, and drop it off. I said, no. I said,
we're not right now.
You don't let money leave the room. I said, no, you're gonna bring the envelopes just like in church. You're gonna bring the envelopes up to the front right now. And so I think we have to be that bold to say, no, I'm not gonna count on you. Wait till you get home, and then you might forget. Here's a laptop, here's a phone, right now.
I mean, and this is the time to do it. There's aren't there 3 states that have 3 potential black governor?
Yeah, Maryland, Florida, and Georgia.
We have Latino legislature. I mean, this is a time for us to make history and to have people that share our ideals and our vision for the country and to move it forward. And if this isn't when we do it, the opportunity, and then there's no coming back from this, right? If we don't control, okay, let me ask you a question, Roland, because I am not as politically well-versed as you may think.
Go ahead.
So what happens if we don't tip the tables at this election for 2020? What happens if the tables don't get tipped? Like, give me real things here.
Well, first off, there's a very clear plan by Mitch McConnell and Republicans to flood the federal bench with right-wing judges. That means judges who are going to rule against many of the issues that we care about.
Right.
And so you talk about the Supreme Court with Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Gorsuch. Okay, so that's the top of the court. But then you have the appeals court. Then you have the federal district judges.
And we're going to flood all of that with
they blocked. So when Trump said, "Oh, Obama didn't care about judges. I've appointed 145," they blocked 100 judges. They keep blaming Harry Reid for the nuclear option. No, because McConnell blocked basic federal judges under Obama. And so and those judges are there for a lifetime. And they are purposely appointing people who are 40 and 42 and 45, very few over 50, because they want them there for the next 25 to 30 years.
Right.
That means that by 2043, when we are a nation majority of people of color, you're going to have individuals who are still on the federal bench who don't look like us, who don't have our same values, determining what is lawful and what isn't. So you got that. The second piece is that you look at what Trump is doing by undoing all the different things that Obama did. Again, those are far-lasting policies because it's harder to put something back that has been changed. So you have to now go back and, so let's say if a Democrat is elected in 2020, you have to now go back and, okay, put all these things back together. And so you can go down the line and then you look at, of course, what's happening on the local level as well, how ICE is being used in the cities and how they're targeting folks in the schools.
How they're ripping babies away from their parents.
All that. So now you're talking about, because everybody keeps focusing on DC. No. What is happening here is, and this is, and I keep saying this, I'm actually writing a book on this. What is happening is, if Trump and the GOP are not stopped in 2018 in the midterms, this white fear that they have of, and the white fear is of a nation of black and brown people.
Right. Being in power.
That's its power. This is all.
This is my hands are cold. My hands are. I'm so scared. Like the more you talk,
No, but this is pure,
good fear, by the way. Yeah.
Unadulterated power
struggle that we have going on.
They hate Trump.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. McConnell does not like Trump.
But they rather have
a means
to the end.
To power.
Yeah, got it.
And that's what's going on. And so when you talk about student loans, when you talk about look, they passed a $1.3 trillion tax cut.
Right.
What is coming will be massive if Democrats don't take over the House or the Senate. What is coming will be massive cuts to entitlement programs that form a safety net. And so all these folks are running around acting as if that's not a big deal. But I know what it's like not to have health care and go to the hospital and have $100,000 in bills and have to file for bankruptcy. And so what they want to do with the Affordable Care Act is exactly that. And so all these people who are going, okay, man, that stuff means nothing because this person doesn't excite me, I'm going, yo, one of these folks are going to win.
Right.
So you better figure out who gives me a wee bit of excitement versus the person who scares me to death. And that's the problem. I think too many of us, we look at politics like we look at entertainment.
Like it's this foreign thing.
Well, not like it's entertainment.
Right.
Oh, well, this show isn't good, so therefore I'm turning.
I'm going to turn the channel.
No, one of them are going to win.
Roland, let me ask you another question. Do you think it's, because I'm looking just at the whole world scope and I'm wondering, is this just like a popular thing that's happening right now with, if you look at even Venezuela.
No,
they have basically the same kind of leadership structure that we have here. Like,
so here's what happens. So two things happen. First of all, when things get so bad, in the case of Brazil, the people go, look, man, if you gonna fix this thing, we'll roll with you, okay? Even though it's not necessarily the kind of person you want. You got that. The flip side is, because that's what we're seeing in Europe and what we're seeing here. Again, it's fear.
Right.
Too many people don't understand history, okay? Folks of European descent, through colonizing, have dominated world affairs, okay? The world was being people of color, 2/3 people of color, for centuries. But because of economic power and military power, they've dominated. They've dominated South America, dominated Africa, dominated all of these regions. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden, because fewer of them are having babies,
right,
and black and brown people kept having babies, all of a sudden now the dominant places are now changing. So immigration in Europe is now changing the face of these European nations. So what is the automatic backlash? Oh, I'm seeing too many of them. Now we were fine with a few of them. Now I'm seeing too many, because now they will now begin to demand power. This is about power.
But you don't fight this being angry alone. Like,
oh no.
This is not, yeah.
Oh no. Dr. King said your anger must fuel you.
Fuel you.
And you must take that anger and then use that anger to fuel you to make change. The problem is when you get so mad and pissed off and upset, you do nothing. and then you go,
And I
okay, you
think
know
that's
what?
right.
And that's the scary
That's the
part,
problem.
because that's where the power lies. And
Yeah.
so we may be in a situation, and this is my fear, that we may be like South Africa in 2043, where you have people of color with a majority demographically, but still are in the minority economically and politically. And that's the biggest
that's
fear.
what's at stake, right? That's
Yes.
what we're.
Because that means that a child that is born this year will be 25 years old in 2043, which means they'll be a college graduate in 2043, which means that if we don't deal with our education system, if we don't deal with jobs, if we don't deal with these things, we literally are going to have black and brown children who will grow up and by 2043 will still be behind white kids in America because they are not equipped to be able to go for the future. That's my greatest fear, which is why my deal is, no. We must be thinking the decisions we make today will impact our children's children.
But can we talk about also just character and what we're instilling in young kids today, and what's okay, and how it's okay to talk to women, the misogynistic views that he portrays, or that this whole it's much deeper than just politics.
Oh, yes.
It's our character, it's our ideals, it's what we
believe. It's a position where anything goes.
Yes,
and
it's humanity.
Anything goes as long as the guy saying it is rich and it's all right. I can do what I want. And that is and so all of these things are at play. And so people are they're mad. They're really upset, mad. And I'm going, look, I can be mad and upset. I can be angry. I can be pissed off. But the reality is, I got to make a call. One of these people will be in a position of power. And look, if this person over here, I agree with them on 3 out of 10 issues, and I agree with this person on 1 out of 10 issues, I can't get stuck on the 7 we disagree on.
Yeah.
I got to go, I agree with 3 on this one. All right, I'm going to kick their ass on the other 7.
Do you share a basic vision for the world, for humanity, for how you treat people? What are your ideals? Do you share the same values?
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that's why who we elect matters in terms of how they also deal with other countries. For you, when did you first vote?
Oh, God. To be honest with you, first time Obama.
So 08.
Yeah.
And so, why didn't you vote before that? Was it just...
I'm going to be very honest with you. I've been awakened to this whole thing. I'm a late bloomer for a lot of things, Roland, and that's okay, because I think when you know the reasons why, and you can go back and track your own growth and and how I've evolved. I came to this country when I was 4 years old from Colombia, from immigrant parents, and for a long time, even getting success in my career to me was hindered by this underlying thought that I wasn't enough, or that I didn't matter, because I was just an immigrant girl who came here, who somehow, some way became a U.S. I just didn't think that I mattered, and that's the biggest issue that I know.
So the story of America is a nation of immigrants.
But I understand that now, and that's why, look, I'm getting impassioned talking about it, because I know that mindset so very well. They don't think they matter, and they don't think that people care that they vote or not, because this isn't their country, that they don't belong here, and they're being fed this same rhetoric by these people every day. And then one day it just happened, and I don't know how it happened, but things clicked in my head. And I was like, you know what? First of all, I'm a human being first. I live here. This is my country. This is my home. I have something to say. I have a gift to give to the world. I have a talent that I can express. I have value. I have all these things, and everything just started working. And it's working still, but it took a lot of, there are painful moments in that mindset, and I know that there's a lot of people there right now. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to come here and talk to you about, and say to whoever's watching and listening that may have come here in a similar way that I did, or who doesn't feel that, this isn't their country because they weren't born here. That's just not the truth. You belong. There's a reason you're here. You matter. And this is your country. This is your home. This is, like you said, this is a country built on immigrants who had a vision for a democracy that works for everybody, so that we can grow and evolve and have whatever your American dream is, and that's at stake right now. And it pains me to know that there are people that felt like I felt so many years ago that won't go to vote. So I'm committing to spending the next couple of weeks. I'm going to hold myself accountable. I'm going to register 10 people. I started last night, so I'm 1 down, 9 to go.
So, and the thing is, so when you say, I'm going to register 10, what you then do is you say, ask of each one of them.
Right, so it's a chain reaction, yeah.
You're like, look, you have to do 10.
Yeah.
I want you to at least do 1.
Yeah.
Because now you register 10.
Yeah.
And ask those 10 to do 1, now there's 20 people.
And it's just little things, and they add up, and I also learned that it's like the job seems so big. Oh, we got to overturn, and we got to win the House back, and we got to impeach let me not even say that, but it's just like, it seems so, the odds are so big, but it matters when everybody comes together and everybody does their part. It's like being on set. It's like beautiful chaos. It seems like when you get here, it's like, okay, who's doing, but everything works because everybody's doing their part, and at the end we have this.
So you So I've been doing this with everybody I've talked to. You almost did it, but we're going to put you under the clock.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
I don't like this. Please don't. I'm really
You'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
You get over it. Don't worry about it.
Roland,
You'll survive.
I'm so scared.
No, you'll survive. So here's the test. You have come upon a young person. You've come upon somebody who's middle age or who's older. They've never voted. Let's say you are hopping out of the car trying to catch a flight, and you run to them. And you have 30 seconds. That's all you have. 30 seconds to convince them why they must vote. What do you say in the 30 seconds?
Sir, ma'am, you must vote. Oh,
Go.
God. Okay, sir, ma'am, you must vote because everything that you grew up believing that was true about our beautiful country is at stake, because your grandchildren depend on you, because it depends on how they will grow up, their character, who they become, because you're doing good, Roland, because you matter, and because you're smart and beautiful, and because you belong here, sir, because we are counting on you, and our future, our kids need you, and God, I'm struggling here.
You're fine. That's 28 seconds. You did it. What, That was it.
That was it? Okay.
That was the message.
I got 28 seconds?
You had two left.
Damn.
So you could have breathed.
I sold myself short. Okay.
Folks, give it up for Zalahania.
Thank you.
Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin, and don't forget to turn on your notifications. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Hey fam, want to check out Roland Martin Unfiltered, the blackest show on all of digital, cable, and broadcast. Check out our audio podcast. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Press play.